Saint-Lucie, bienvenue pour notre programme en créole et puis en anglais. Enfin, comme nous avons dit, nous bilingues aujourd'hui. We are bilingual, and today we present the launching of Journée Kwéyòl 2022. Nous avons présenté un commencement Journée Kwéyòl pour l'année 2022. Et aujourd'hui, je suis bien content mon studio avec monsieur, bel monde, belle place, tout le bagage. Nous avons discuté un sujet qui est tellement important pour nous en Saint-Lucie, la vie nous, puisque nous sommes maman Kwéyòl. Et nous avons pour comprendre valet Kwéyòl, talé à mon dit un monde qui longtemps, là nous commencé journée Kwéyòl. Nous tenons thème là, nous avons suivre thème là. Kwéyòl là c'est un bel cadeau. Creole is a beautiful language. It's a gift from our ancestors. And so today we are pleased to present the launching of Journée Kwéyòl 2022. And I'll tell you something before I introduce my guests, because I have some lovely people here. Coming out of COVID, let me tell you, I can't wait. And not only me, but you can't wait for us to enjoy our Journée Kwéyòl. It's coming, Ikavini. All right? So, here with me are beautiful people. I can tell you something, beautiful people. But I'll begin with the youngest lady on the set. Here with me, she's the new director or executive director of the folk, Monsignor Patrick Anthony. We must be careful to say that, you know. It's not just the Folk Research Center, but we have to pay tribute to the founding father of this organization. It's not just the Folk Research Center, so we've named it the Monsignor Patrick Anthony Folk Research Center, MPAFRC. Bon, avec nous parler de Raissa Joseph, who is the new executive director of this organization. A huge mammoth task, but she's approaching it so well. Welcome.
Merci à pile, Michael. Bienvenue tout le monde. Ma sauté, moi t'es pas oui. Merci à pile, mon côté pour moi ici aujourd'hui avec nous en place recherche folklore. Nous côté pour nous retourner pour célébrer Ewitaj Kwéyòl et puis Journée Kwéyòl pour l'année 2022. So we're happy to have the return of Journée Kwéyòl and Creole Heritage Month for 2022. Nous savons les tas à la vie, l'année à Djéouté, l'esprit de Djéouté. Et puis toute cette lycée, moi je veux dire ça c'est moi aider pour ce peuple là. Puis tout le monde qui a participé.
Mais d'accord. Bon, pas de plus. Au gagner chance. Moi j'ai bonne chance pour dire tout ça au niveau du travail. Also we have with us the no, let me go. I'll do the ladies first, if you don't mind. Chivalry reigns here.
Indeed.
So we also have with us the executive director of the Cultural Development Foundation. Now, trouble in the camp, saying win. I used to say wine, c'est pas wine. So, Mrs. Ramona Henry Wine. Bienvenue, madame.
Bonjour tout le monde, tout Jean Saint-Lucie. Bonjour, monsieur Gaspard. Il a fait un bon plaisir pour assister aujourd'hui parmi agences qui travaillent ensemble pour faire Ewitaj Kwéyòl Saint-Lucie qui a fait un succès. Nous tous travaillons ensemble. Travail CDF, c'est pour mener Fête Magouite. Pour assurer ici un bagay qui a résonné à sous mois héritage là. So Jean Saint-Lucie qui comprendre, yo qui apprécier et qui participer.
Oui, you look well rehearsed. Merci un peu. Aussi, nous on camarade, mais go book. Go show, Mr. DPS, the DPS in the Ministry of, I want to say that well, in the Ministry of Tourism, Investment, Creative Industries, Information and Broadcasting. Am I right, sir?
Culture.
Creative
Culture and
industries.
information.
And
Culture.
culture.
Oh, and culture.
Culture.
Okay, I have to get it right. So this, let me introduce Mr.
Calvin
Calvin
Lee.
Lee.
Yes.
Bruce Lee. Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And thanks for having me be part of this panel this morning. I also like to say I'm a newly minted Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Department of, the Ministry of Tourism. So it's just over a month or so been here and delving right into it. Working alongside the capable organizations, FRC, CDF, in pulling off what should be a very memorable Creole Month, Heritage Month.
Beautiful. I appreciate it. And Mr. Lee is going to tell us a little more. In fact, all of them will tell us a little more. But again, St. Lucia, I implore you to take our language seriously because a lot of things are going to happen. And as you just heard from Mr. Lee, un shy bagay kay fet. L'année ça là pour moi Ewitaj Kwéyòl. Moi pas kay do exactement qui thème nous kay suivre. You will hear it as the discussion progresses. So, an pale, an commence puis directeur. Place Richesse Folklore, c'est organisation qui commence moi Ewitaj Folklore. Kwéyòl. Père Anthony, Father Anthony Paba, c'était yon qui était derrière ça. Avec, I don't know if St. Lucians will understand that the mission or the vision was to make Journée Kwéyòl back from, when we started back in 1985, 84, 83, sorry. 83 on radio,
And it is
we
going
started
to
and it
communities.
moved into communities. When we started back then, the vision was to see that Journée Kwéyòl is celebrated just like we do for Christmas. That was the vision. Where are we now with this?
I believe we've surpassed that current vision. As I would have said earlier in my discussion, ça c'est pligo feste the kilti a set nisi. Everyone participates, and that's for a good reason. And at the Folk Research Center this year, as we celebrate Journée Kwéyòl and Ewitaj Kwéyòl the entire month of October, our aim is to really unite our country, our people, in celebrating culture, not merely in terms of food and dress, but all the other aspects that are important for national development, because we see culture as necessary for empowerment. We see our language, langue Kwéyòl la, nous voulons pousser devant, nous ten gouvernement dit yo voulons faire mamay instruire apprendre langage Kwéyòl la à l'école, and we want to continue to do that this year. Our theme this year for Ewitaj Kwéyòl is Kilti se Jéwizon. Culture heals. Kilti se Jéwizon. Culture heals. And this is not simply in the context of the pandemic where we've seen the impacts of a vermin that has turned the entire world upside down. And when we look at our society, we know that culture is important for the economy, for social development, for families, for spiritual development, for our children, in terms of the kinds of values that we give them. And in the programming that we will be putting forward with the support of CDF, and Events Company of St. Lucia, and the support of Government of St. Lucia, and private sector as well, and the community, we hope to remind St. Lucians of what makes us a people worthy of celebration globally, and the importance of going back to our roots. We just had Emancipation, where we tried to enkindle consciousness, and although we began in 1984, sometimes we lose track of the significance of why we do what we do. So why do we cook on a teso? Why would your mother and father raise you with particular values? We want to go back to the why. We want us to be able to realize who we are as a people.
Good. I like that. Go back to the why. Mais un peu moun veut avancer. Yo kado ça pas important encore. Yo pas admuter truck bagay ki ka chen yo derrière. À quoi say the progression is quick. People want to move fast. But I insist, we can progress with our language, with our food, with our everything, our tooth bagay, we can make progress, right? For example, I use Creole a lot in texting on WhatsApp. I use a lot of Creole with the accents, everything. So it's the duty for people to learn. I'm doing it deliberately for people to learn. But let's move on to Miss Wynn. Miss Wynn, I heard you a while ago, and you're sounding powerful. Dis-moi.
Okay, I'll start off in English. The CDF's role in this Ewitaj Creole is to really ensure that our cultural heritage remains prominent, remains at the forefront of the minds of our people, locally, regionally, and internationally. And hence, we have been working assiduously to ensure that the Fête Magouit, it is recognized, it is understood, appreciated, and there's this heightened awareness amongst our persons, because I think for far too long, persons are of the notion that it is something for the communities, the hidden communities, and for older folks. But no, I think Laos proved this year that a lot of young persons have that appreciation and understanding. So it's for us now to ensure that we assist them in developing the art form, in assisting them in the training that would allow them to present themselves on stage in a way that is acceptable and palatable to all St. Lucians, young, old, not so old. So we want to ensure that it is part of what it is, our culture. So we want to ensure that there's that appreciation, you know. And this year is going to be even grander. We will do the festival starts with the community seances, where they do those activities for the purposes of fundraising in the communities. And that is how they're able to, have some, resources to begin. And then you have the Gonfete, the Gwaseyas and the Gonfete. This year, the Gwaseyas is going to be in the form of a coronation, where we are going to crown the king and queen, and there will be a ball that will consist of all the Creole foods that are indigenous to us in St. Lucia. So these are going to be, become gourmet dishes for our persons. There again, agriculture coming into the mix. Right. So this is not just culture as we think it's just a festival. It's all the pieces that connect us together as a people that are going to come to the fore during the festival. And of course, the grand finale is the Gonfete, where persons are going to come out in their full regalia, all of the dressings, the queens, the policemen, princesses, all of what we have come to know, along with the presentations of what the festival is all about. And we are calling on all St. Lucians to come and be a part of. It's not about, as Raisa said earlier, it's not about just the dressing. It's that heightened awareness and appreciation for who we are as a people, and understanding that. Thank you.
Good, interesting. So I'm beginning to wonder if I still belong to Laos. Based on what you were saying there, I don't know if I should. Would you accept me?
Yes, we would, because it's a friendly society.
So because it's rivalry. Actually, my brother and I were having a discussion right after Laos this year, and he found it was so interesting. But he thinks that the Margaret may not have that kind of attention because it's limited to school children. Oh. And he was suggesting that maybe some Laos people can go over. And in Lambri they have a phrase called Magos, as in Margaret and Laos together. Yeah. So maybe that's what you want to propose. Is that what you want to
There's
propose?
also the Magaros rhythm that Nintas came up with, right, along with Minel. Nintas and Minel, they call this Magaros, an invader, that Magaros rhythm. Yes. So we will accept.
Yes.
And it's not just specific to schools. You have the community festivals, and you have the school festival. The full school festival is grand.
Yes.
The parents go all out to dress those kids, but we don't want it to be just about the dressing. Yeah. We want that understanding, that awareness, and that appreciation, that when they leave the school setting, that they can move on to the community groups and grow those groups. And this is one of the missions or the visions that the CDF has to grow that festival, because we need to ensure that the community groups are growing.
Is CDF thinking of a clash of the flowers?
It has been at the forefront of our minds. So St. Lucia can expect something great to come up very soon.
Okay.
Because we need to bring them together. You can't clash. Let us clash.
Exactly. I like to empower all.
Because he did take Ajewi.
Exactly.
So this is one of the ways where we can heal the minds.
That's
bring them together under one umbrella.
And we need it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now let's talk some money. Let's talk some money. I suppose that's why you're here, Mr. Lee?
Mr. Gaspar, you're taking me back to my former life.
As an accountant?
As a financial analyst, as a budget analyst, and so on.
I saw it in you.
You saw it in Right.
Yeah. What I want to say is that I welcome the government's support in all of this. So how does your ministry bring that forth?
Right, and thank you for that. So from the perspective of the government of St. Lucia, and again, both CDF and the Monsignor Patrick Anthony Folk Research Center are all government agencies. So we all work together with the mindset to keep our culture alive as one of the activities and priorities. So the ministry supports fully the activities and concepts put together by the CDF and the FRC with regard to celebrating our culture. So you would have seen what happened with Lawas. We're looking forward to the entire month of October for the Creole heritage, as well as the La Marguerite Festival, as Mrs. Wins spoke of. So we facilitate from that, so to speak, that background, but supporting the policy development and whatnot with regard to that. And also, like you're saying, the financing part of it. So we do the hard negotiations with the Ministry of Finance to try to facilitate that. But we look at it from a broader perspective in terms of what culture is.
Exactly.
Right? The celebration of us as a people. Yeah? So what we've done before, how, as has been mentioned, how do we keep our younger persons interested? So let them recognize this is how we lived before, this is the significance of the culture, and this is where it can take us. Also, the economic potential. Yeah? What makes us uniquely St. Lucian? What is it that we can use to market St. Lucia throughout the world, really, and to invite regionally and internationally persons to visit with us and experience what it is that we do and who we are. So from that perspective, we are fully in support of the CDF and the FRC, and will see us in the background given that strong arm support.
The strong arm support. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm very happy to know that the government of St. Lucia is fully behind it. We've seen the experiences of Laos, emancipation, and I think these are manifestations of our culture.
Indeed.
And for people to understand and appreciate who we are.
Indeed.
And like Father Anthony and I were discussing on another program, we have to use culture as the tool for development.
For development and for healing,
yes,
as well. Right? And the creative minds behind FRC and CDF develop wonderful concepts, right? We are challenged a bit in being able to allow them to do everything because the purse strings are limited. Yeah. Right. So we work with them to prioritize their various activities and to do as much as we can with the budgets that we have. Of course, we'd like to do more, but we're a bit limited in that regard. But again, we try as best as possible to showcase the best of St. Lucia in that regard.
I like that. Showcase the best of St. Lucia. This and Kwéyòl.
Next year.
Exactly. Bel talent, bel tout bagay St. Lucie. Well, we're about to take a break. We will continue the discussion, but this time we will focus more on the safety and security aspects of Journée Kwéyòl. So it's something that people will look forward to. So I invite you to stay with us. We'll be back in a while.
Oi, you realize you step on my toe.
Well, do something about it.
Gasa, I bust in that man.
Hold on.
If somebody try to cross you and the matting start to take you, no need for war or violence cause the police there to help you. If a trouble start in the session, alright, no need for aggression. We don't want no violence in the place. Control your temper, respect respect each other. Don't let no trouble escalate, cause you know better. Control your temper, respect each other. Don't let no trouble escalate, cause you know better. Control your temper. A message from Mission Boys, Studio 758, Acid Creations, and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force.
What's in the food you're eating? Do you really even know? All the chemicals and hormones used to accelerate their growth. All the artificial flavoring, sweeteners and colors too. We consume and we don't spare a thought for the damage that they'll do. No, think about the children. Think about the children. How will we save them? Chemicals and GMOs are not the solution. Use organic and join.
Excessive agrochemical use, additives, and genetically modified foods are harmful to health and the environment. Join the good food revolution. Grow, buy, and consume organic. A message from Rise St. Lucia and the Ministry of Sustainable Development with funding from the GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP.
The good food revolution.
Pamela, I noticed that you built your retaining wall on my property. You will have to give me my land back or compensate me for that.
My contractor isn't dumb. I trust that he will not build anything on your property. Where is your proof?
Let's go to court.
This situation does not require you to go to court. Looks like we have to go through mediation here. Mediation is a way people resolve conflicts like this. Someone, a third party, comes to speak to both parties. This person is called the mediator. The mediator is impartial. He or she makes sure that communication between both parties is effective and efficient.
So, the mediator is a judge?
No, the mediator is not a judge. Mediators, unlike judges, do not decide cases or impose settlements.
Let me get a mediator to handle this retaining wall and that kitchen.
Kitchen?
Yes, your kitchen also falls on my land. Let me call the mediator.
Merci pour rester avec nous. Thank you very much for staying with us. We are here live on NTN, of course, in the beautiful studios of the National Television Network, and of course you are also viewing us on CDF Facebook page as well as Events St. Lucia Facebook page as well. So whoever is viewing, wherever you are, welcome, and we appreciate your presence right here, and we believe you are interested in your culture, in your heritage, and that you will make a concerted effort to do something special for Journée Kwéyòl 2022. And not just you, Journée Kwéyòl is a climax, but Ewitaj Kwéyòl, it's an entire month. And that's why we are here today to discuss the month, the celebration of 1 month of Kwéyòl heritage. And so I am just so pleased to have with us the Executive Director of the Monsignor Patrick Anthony Folk Research Center, here with us, Madame Raissa Joseph. We put the style. Raissa is here with us. So Raissa, qui ça nous pour Journée Kwéyòl l'année ça là?
L'année ça là.
C'est commune là, est l'année c'est commune là qui a.
Oui. L'année ça là qu'on nous a retourné après dès l'année, because remember we were off for 2 years. We have the communities of, I feel like I need a drum roll. Choiseul.
Oui, Gic Choiseul.
Comment on nous a dit Gic Choiseul?
Babonou.
Choiseul et puis Castries.
Okay, say it again. Tell
So it is Choiseul and Castries. We have these 2 communities which will display for us celebrations of Journée Kwéyòl on the 30th of October this year. Because we normally celebrate Journée Kwéyòl on the Sunday closest to the International Day of Observance. And I want to also state, before we go on to our officials that are here with us, we're very pleased that they are here for safety and security. it is said that apart from Journée Creole celebrations, there will be a calendar of events that the FRC and other agencies will be putting on, which will showcase culture, because we want to remind people culture is not just one day. Journée Creole is the climax, but throughout the month there will be a series of activities that will celebrate culture in various ways. And we want to say also that beyond Journée Creole, we want to have a year long of recognition of culture. But this year, our host communities for Journée Creole are Kwéyòl and Castries.
Kilti?
C'est Jéruizon.
All right. Bon, moi bien content. So simplicity, autant place là qui place recherche, c'est place recherche Monseigneur Patrick Anthony, j'ai choisi pour célébrer, puisque normalement nous avons une place vous savez, avec raison nous avons fait ça, c'est pour bailler comme une force, excusez. It's important because coming from the organization myself, I can tell you that the communities that host Journée Creole, they're doing a fantastic job in preparing, looking for organizing transportation, organizing sales, all kinds of things. And I'm telling you, it's a very good thing to empower communities in that regard. So we're very happy. So Kwéyòl, it's your turn. And
Castries
de Kwéyòl.
What you party sa tout part on Kilti,
Let me tell you, Castries has a lot of Kwéyòl because you have people coming from all around the island living in Castries. So that's where they converge. But we have to have a measure of safety and security in all of what we do. We must consider that. Coming from that pandemic, safety, security, tout bagay important. And not because it's Kwéyòl, it has to be vai. Ça pas vrai. So, that is why we have with us Denom Kaki. We have with us representatives of the St. Lucia Fire Service and this Royal St. Lucia Police Force. I'll begin with the one nearest to me. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is represented here by Inspector Callistus Charlemagne. So, and of course from the Traffic Department, and also from the Royal St. Lucia, from the St. Lucia Fire Service, we have Assistant Divisional Officer Mabius Francis. So, welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Should I stand up to salute? All right. Let's begin with you, Inspector Charlemagne. N'a pas les Kwéyòl, bah, oui. Nous savons, normalement, pour quantité de temps, nous avons célébré Journée Creole. Moun. Et à présent, plus toujours, puisque les gens sont sortis de l'autre pays pour venir ici. Ça veut dire, il y a plus de machines, plus de trafic. Qui manière nous avons managé ça?
Quand nos police force là et FRC et ces communes qui viennent ensemble pour planer l'activité Journée Creole, nous avons organisé l'année. Le premier problème là nous c'est le trafic. Si tout le monde sait ici coopérer avec nous pour planer, tout le bagage qui marche bien. Often the times we place signs alongside the area and the sites, and because of the volume of traffic that we have and the geographic location of the place, you find that persons sometimes disobey the directions, and that's why we have some of the traffic congestions that we have. So l'année ça nous ramène tout le monde cette liste pour coopérer avec nous. Nous regardons des places là qui Journée Creole l'année ça là. Ça qui est plus difficile pour nous à manager, c'est Soazeil. Combien c'est un combien qui petit avec là où il y a un petit milieu de problème c'est parking. So nous encourageons les gens pas venir choisir par quoi sur ça capot que radis. Plusieurs gens descendent choisir, il y en a l'autre. Nous pas de passer à venir là par quoi. Mais sous il y a plus meilleur pour ça. Groupe de routes organisé transport et ça est plus meilleur pour ce festival là.
Je vais tout changer, je vais tout jeune pour changer ça. Mais l'année 1990, 1990, à tenir journée Kwéyòl Soazey. C'était la première fois que nous étions à une commune. Toutes ces années avant, c'était une commune. Mais là, nous décidons pour diviser en différentes places. Soazey, c'était le premier. Right? Avec témoin d'eau. Là, c'est mignon, qualité problème. Mon marché choc, j'ai copié privé en ville Soazey. So, il y a une situation sous coup. And perhaps that is when I would like to invite the Assistant Divisional Officer Mabius. You have emergency situations to deal with. What are those situations? The preparations for those kinds of situations?
Merci, Mr. Gaspar. Quand police l'a dit, nous avons plané et puis FRC pour ça faire bagay ça travaille bien. Nous pas faire par contre. Alors ça traffic département a mis plan en place pour ça assurer mon kay ça ivé côté bagay la ka fait là. Alors ça quand il dit on peut pas ça aller et puis machine. Il dit ka dit moun a couple venir ensemble en une machine. Compagnie gens venir ensemble en une machine et puis essayer d'aller côté là. Parce que si tout le monde vient et puis machine yo, soit il pas de place pour ça mettre tout le monde. So c'est plan nous ka mettre ensemble et nous ka voulons cette liste travailler puis nous. Nous pas faire par contre nous. FRC pas faire par contre. Rôle cette liste ni pour venir ensemble et puis réaliser qui ça qui pour faire pour bagay ça fait bien. Et c'est raison ça là nous avons travail fire service. Our mission is to preserve life and property. And in order to do this, we'll have to work with FRC, we will have to work with the vendors and the people of St. Lucia. And when I speak of, let me parler de préserver la vie. Nous voulons parler de manger, food safety. Si vous poisonnez, si c'est mon cas manger, poisonnez moun, nous avons un gros problème en la maison. Alors ça, nous avons une ambulance qui pour mener moun à l'hôpital. Nous n'avons pas une ambulance pour amener autant de monde à l'hôpital. Et c'est aussi encore, nous avons fait FRC pour l'année docteur, même côté de la cafette là. So si un monde mange un bagage qui parle bien, puis they have a food allergy, un docteur ça ouais yo, traiter yo.
La même.
C'est la même. Mais encore, quand nous dit, nous voulons travailler et puis j'ai cette ici. On est pour savoir qui ça qui parle beau. Avant aller ouais manger toute bagaille ouais moi ça rien belle manger c'est manger cette ici c'est belle manger mais avant point intimider chaque bagaille moi de question moi de c'est mon avant manger qui ça quand ça parle moins ça fait moi du mal so qui ça quand avant acheter et pour manger mais encore nous dit c'est mon avant manger si un monde mado qui ça quand dit ça quand parce que il peut faire du mal c'est ça même c'est ça même que tu sais quand Dieu oui c'est nous fait bien.
That's right.
Alors ça on veut dire soit l'être poisonner la rivière pour ça tuer qui biche pour ça tuer bouc ou quand faire monde du mal ça pas Dieu raison. Et puis les mots dit ça encore nous pouvons qui monnaie en qui pas monde pas servir pas faire Dieu raison. Parce que quand nous avons nous une pandémie monde parti ça travail monter pour vivre et puis faire jardin yo maybe yo ten pour tuer qui biche tchebe gibier massacre qui yo fait passer temps ça parce que chez monde vini pauvre encore parce que di maladie ça qui était tout au lion
exactement
bon qu'il te moi mais film là yo ka servir qu'il te ka jewi certains jewi pour chaque monde ça parce que yo vie ka faire jardin bon kayo des kayo mon vie descend de côté yo sorti Isaac Kasui descend Soazey yo aller labori parce que chaque monde qui levé à sur agriculture so yo vie de agriculture c'est ça qui te fait séclicien côté yo te banane figue c'est ça qui te mette nous là so ça ka jewi qu'il te nous maintenant ka vivre temps passé ka jewi nous dit pauvreté nous et si nous vie c'est aux hommes aimer ça tellement si nous vie en ça nous ça fait plus bien mais nous ne pouvons comprendre nous ne pouvons mettre safety et sécurité en ça nous faire So là ça m'a dit sous quand tu bec bishma si yo ka quitter ça fait aujourd'hui pour jeune créole mais sous tu bec bish pas poisonner la rivière parce que au cas tuer monde ka fait monde du mal et puis nous pas ni ambulance pour ça porter autant monde à l'hôpital et l'hôpital pas ça après tout ce monde ça so on fait bien
vitement puisque nous pas nous jeter encore est-ce que tu as quitté mon pété bambou?
Ah oui, c'est l'avenir.
Je dis, hier nous sommes ici à parler de pété bambou et que il semble qu'il explose, qu'il fait bas ici, la police va quitter ça fait.
Non, moi je vais faire police là. Si la police dit qu'il fait, ça le département qui fait, c'est mucho monnaie pour ça faire bien. Parce que mon fait
ou quand mucho monde fait ça?
Non, mais si on
pour vanter babouin?
Pas servir gaz. Pas servir gasoline.
Ok.
Pas servir kérosine. Ça c'est différents bagages. Si on servir gasoline ou en tout cas, ou qu'on brûle le corps, qu'on brûle le cheveu sous sous.
Il est plus dangereux.
Il est dangereux. Alright, so nous avons dit mon qui monnaie pour ça faire bien. So police a dit oui ou ça fait, faut département a dit qui monnaie pour ça faire bien.
Alright.
Pas faire danger.
Et bon. Nous pas de temps, mais on quitte, on va parler assez. On va quitter monsieur police l'a dit en dernier mot parole avant nous partir.
Dernier mot parole là, c'est nous travaillons ensemble pour faire une Creole ça là en commencement avec qui tout le monde qui enjoy. C'est mon qui a sorti à l'autre commune et qui a l'autre commune monde, be sensitive pour ces monde qui a été là, respecter propriétaire monde. C'est un problème nous avons. Et police là pour aider tout le monde et faire tout le bagage marcher bien. Et comme je dis encore, nous travaillons ensemble avec tout le bagage marcher bien.
Ok, on y 10 secondes.
Vitement, qu'il te sait, Jérusalem, nous voulons célébrer moi Ewitaj Kwéyòl et puis journée Kwéyòl ensemble au pays.
À de bonne manière. That's it. The beautiful celebrate moi Ewitaj Kwéyòl Creole Heritage Month, October 2022 in grand style. And as you heard, the theme is Kilti Sejevision. Thank you for watching. Thank you for viewing. We appreciate it. Nous allons jouer en octobre